Yes, people, yes, people, yes, people. Welcome back to We Talk Football podcast. We're being joined by the lovely Ben Glander. Introduce yourself, mate.
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me on again. It's like my third appearance on this channel. I create, West Ham content and just general football content. I made a new channel yesterday and done an England tier list. But yeah, thank you for having me on again.
Yeah, you're becoming part of the furniture, buddy.
Yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed the couple of times I've been on here, so I'm more than happy to come on again.
Yeah. I was on a stream on his channel yesterday, so go check it out. It's big respect for him. But we're going to build up for this weekend's fixtures. First game on Saturday, Burnley versus Arsenal. Let's start with you, Ben. What do you think is going to happen in that game?
I think Burnley are going to get a point.
Oh.
Yeah, I just think it's one of those games that Arsenal don't want right now. It's going to be a slugfest. Burnley are going to want the ball, like in the air. They're going to try and utilise their physical assets like Wood, Barnes, if they're available. I'm going for a point with Burnley. I'm going for a point Burnley.
That's sick. I think that's the first time I've ever heard Chris Wood called Wood. I've never heard.
Is it Woods?
Say, no, Wood. No, his name's Wood. But it's like Harvey Barnes. He's never called Harvey or Barnes. It's always Chris Wood. I've never heard him say Wood. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
What do you think, Quakes?
I do think Arsenal will win it. I think it'll be a tough game. Obviously, Burnley off the back of getting a decent draw against Leicester, a game in which they could have actually won. I think that it's going to be a tough one for Arsenal, but I do think they're going to come out 2-1 winners in that game. They're Arsenal off the back of a good win away at Leicester.
3-1.
I think Arsenal will have enough in the locker to see it through against Burnley.
Yeah, as much as I would love to see Arsenal lose and Twitter go into lockdown, and then Luke that we had on channel the other day can lose his mind, I do think that this is going to be. I don't want to say a turning point for Arsenal. I just feel like I can see a win from him. It'll be a tough game. Sean Dyche will do what he does, put 10 men behind the ball and try and grind out a 0-0 win. 0-0 draw, I should say.
I was going to say 0-0 win. What's one of those?
That would be a win for them, to be fair. If they draw 0-0 against Arsenal, I'd take that all day long.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm going to go with a 1-0 Arsenal win. Or Aubameyang's going to start scoring goals. He needs to for Quaker to get the golden boot, like you predicted at the start of the season, mate. Sheffield versus Southampton, Quakes. Go, mate. What do you think?
Sheffield United, obviously they're going down, but they showed some resilience against Villa in their last game. Southampton look like they're in awful form. They're in relegation form right now. I think their last game was against Everton. They lost 1-0, but they've been in free fall ever since they got slapped up by Manchester United. So I think that Sheffield United are actually going to win this game 2-0. I think it's going to be quite comfortable for them.
Sheffield United. Wow, that's a big call. What do you think?
I'm very close to agreeing with him, because Southampton, they're very, very close to getting dragged into the relegation battle. They're only on 30 points and whatnot, and everyone around them's on 25 points. And obviously, to be fair, this run has to end at some point, and it's depending which game. Now, obviously, Sheffield United beating Aston Villa 1-0. Again, they are going to go down, but they're probably going to. They want to go down without being the worst team in history, because obviously there's talk about Derby and whatnot. I'm going to agree with Quaker. I think Sheffield United are going to win. I'm going to go for a 1-0.
Oh, you guys are speaking your chest today. I'm going to go with Southampton win. Southampton, they've had one of those seasons. They started off amazingly, but then they've had another shocking result. Obviously, they lost 1-0 to Everton, but they had the big result against United. That's probably dented their confidence. They've been playing with injuries and all sorts of stuff like that. I think Sheffield United haven't done enough to be in the league. I don't care if I see them go down fighting. I said time and time again, I think Chris Wilder is the most insufferable Premier League manager of all time. So I want to see Southampton win 3-0. I'm going to go 3-0. Say that with my chest.
That's a big result. Big result.
Yeah. Huge result for Southampton.
Especially Sheffield United don't concede that many goals either. So it's just trying up my arse, mate.
Yeah, that's a big call. But we'll see how that pans out.
Aston Villa versus Wolves. What do you think?
No Jack Grealish, apparently, according to Dean Smith, that he's very unlikely to play. So, again, Wolves are a team that have sort of been very inconsistent. Aston Villa very inconsistent, especially without Jack Grealish and with Jack Grealish in the team. I'm going to draw. I'm going for a 2-2.
2-2.
I'm going for an entertaining Midlands scrappy draw. And I'm also predicting a red card. There we go.
2-2
and a red card.
2-2 and a red card. This is big. Is that it with his chest? What about you, Quakes?
To be fair, it seems like me and Ben are on the same wavelength. I was gonna go 2-2, but I can't say the same score line. So I'm gonna go 1-1. Jack Grealish missing for Villa will be tough. They also lost to Sheffield United recently, so their kind of fairy tale season's kind of dampering a little bit as we tail off to the end of the season. And like you said, Wolves have been inconsistent. They put on a good showing against City up until maybe the last 10 minutes, where City obviously ran away with it at 1-1. But I'm going for a 1-1 draw. I think it'll be quite a good game, but I think there'll be VAR controversy as well. I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
Particularly red card and a VAR controversy. Fair, yeah. Aston Villa, if they win, they can go up to. They'll only go up one place now. Yeah. I think I'm going to go with a 1-0 Wolves win. I think Wolves are starting to turn their form around. They've looked okay in recent weeks. I'm going to go with Wolves on that one. Next game, Brighton at home to Leicester. What do you think, Quakes?
So Brighton will feel aggrieved over the last couple of games. Obviously, Lee Mason doing them dirty in the last game against West Brom, and then the game against Palace. I've never seen a team dominate so much and then lose a game. So I think Brighton will come out fighting. I think Leicester are just they're savage of injuries. I think their season's going to start tailing off as well. We're going to see them drop outside the top four. So I think Brighton are going to win this game 2-1. It'll be a close game. Could go either way, but I do see Brighton winning this.
What about yourself, Ben?
I agree. I think Brighton are going to win, and that's not me being boring. I think the injuries that they're getting. I know Barnes is injured. I don't know who else is injured, but I know they have picked up quite a few injuries.
Madison's out as well.
Madison's out injured, and he was really like their sort of go-to guy the last couple of weeks, scoring goals, getting assists, sort of probably taking a burden away from like Vardy and Harvey Barnes and whatnot. But yeah, I'm going Brighton. I think they're one of those teams that they play good football, but they're just similar to Fulham in the way that when they get to the final third, they're pants. They put, if they had anyone who could stick a ball in the back of the net, they would probably be a lot higher than they currently are. So I'm actually going to go 3-1 Brighton.
3-1 Brighton, big result.
Yeah.
Big result. Well, did you guys see the Iheanacho goal midweek? That was so tempting.
No, I didn't see it. No,
mate. And Didi put the ball over from centre back. Iheanacho over the shoulder volley for the keeper. Go watch the highlights of that game.
I'm gonna watch
Absolutely. Once in a blue moon though, Iheanacho. He's I wouldn't bank on doing that again.
Yeah, for sure. Well, they looked. Leicester looked okay, but the only reason they conceded against Burnley the other day is obviously because they gave the ball away midfield. Vidra counted on that. I think again, Brighton have been unlucky in recent weeks, but they are in the table. You can't be consistently unlucky. They're in the table. They're at that point in the table because they've been reflective of their league position. I'm going to go with a Leicester 1-0 win away. I know they're savaged by injuries, but I think they've got enough to get over the line. Mm-hmm. First game of Sunday, probably the most uninspiring game of the weekend. West Brom at home to Newcastle. Can't wait to watch that one. What about you, Ben?
Yeah.
I won't be watching it. But I'm going for a Big Sam masterclass here. I'm going for a 2-1 West Brom. I just don't know about Newcastle. I think they really could go down. I think West Brom will still go down. But I think Fulham are the most likely out of any of the clubs in the relegation zone that will stay up. And I think Newcastle could be dragged into it. So I'm going to say 2-1 West Brom.
Okay. What about you, Quakes?
It's probably the most predictable score line or score prediction of the weekend. I'm going 0-0. It's early kickoff on a Sunday. Like two of the most boring teams to watch in the Premier League. I will be surprised if there's more than one goal in this game. I'm going for 0-0 in this one.
Yeah, for once, Quaker, I agree with you, mate. 0-0. I think it's going to be very uninspiring.
Yeah, you guys are boring.
Yeah, I know, right? 0-0, boring game. Next game, you could on form 2 relegation candidates. Liverpool versus Fulham. What do you think about that one, Quakes?
You're just literally fishing, mate. You're fishing.
Liverpool fans, I lucky mate.
With that, I think Liverpool are going to get a win in this game. Like Ben alluded to, Fulham look like one of the best teams in the league up until when they get into the opposition box, and then they just don't know what to do. They haven't got that kind of finishing touch or finishing edge. So I feel like Liverpool will get a win in this game. Not to say that this is the turnaround of Liverpool season or whatnot. I do feel they'll still struggle between now and the end of the season, but I do think they'll beat Fulham quite comfortably. I think it's going to be a 3-0 win for Liverpool.
What about you, Ben?
I think there's some unrest at Liverpool, one way or another. I think that a lot of players, you're sort of seeing an end of an era from the last couple of years. Like I think Salah might be let go and bring someone else in. I'm going to go for a Liverpool win as well, but I think it's going to be a lot closer. I think it's going to go be a 2-1 Liverpool win against Fulham.
Oh, so you're both going with a stop the rot result.
Yeah, but they've got it, man. They had a loss for 68 games and they lost 5 in a row. They can't lose 6, surely.
It's just yeah. I agree. Like Quaker was saying, if Fulham go down, I think there's a number of players in that squad that will be
there is. There's a few players.
Yeah,
there's a few players I'll take at West Ham as well.
Exactly, 100%. So I think yeah, as much as I would love to see Liverpool lose 6 in a row, if they lose to Fulham at home, what is going on? So I'm going to go with they don't look like they're scoring goals. So I can't even say this with conviction, but like, I want to say a 1-0 win to Liverpool, They've got to turn it around at some point, surely. If they want to get in the top 4, surely they've got to turn it around. Now, next game. This is actually a massive game. Man City going into it on the highest of forms, and Man United going at looking bang average. But it's a Manchester derby. Both teams will be, frothing. Just to get frothing, just wanting to play this game. What about you, Quakes? What do you think?
I won't be frothing, but I am excited for the game. I think it's going to be a good one.
Frothing, mate.
Yeah, that's a new one. But I think it's going to be a really, really good game. I think Man United in these big games, they do seem to come up trumps. Like last season, I remember when Liverpool were on great form, United managed to pull out a 1-0 draw against them. And I do think that United, even though they have looked bang average, like you touched on, I do think they've got enough in the locker to kind of trouble City. And I know City smashed Wolves, but they did look in trouble for a portion of that game. So I'm going for a 2-2 draw in that one. I think the Man United are going to stop the City win and run.
What about you, Ben? What do you think?
I think it's going to be a boring game. I really do. I could see this one being like a 0-0, considering all the other ones. You know those ones that are just hyped all the time. They're always the rubbish ones. But I think Man City are going to win. I think they'll have all the ball. United will try and counter. I'm going to go 2-0 City.
I completely agree with you. I can see this being a bit of a bore fest, but with the form that City are in, I just think they've got enough to get over the line. So I'm going to say I'm going to go with a 2-0 win to City as well. Recent weeks, they haven't been playing great on occasion. Didn't play well against us last week, but still managed to go over the line. I think it'll be more of the same for them. And I think, obviously, their eyes will be on Champions League coming up as well. So they'll probably have an eye on that. So, 2-0 win to City. Then last game on Sunday, Tottenham at home to Crystal Palace. What do you think, Quakes?
Tough one. Spurs did not look good yesterday against Fulham. I think Fulham could have easily come out of that game with some points. But it looks like Jose's kind of settled on Ali, Kane, Son and Bale, which is lethal for any side. I think Palace, they're kind of one of those teams that are in limbo right now because they're not going to go down, but they don't really inspire any confidence. So I'm going to go with a Spurs win reluctantly. I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs. I think Harry Kane will get a couple just because that's what he does against other London clubs.
You mean to tell me that Jose Mourinho's realised that Dele Alli and Gareth Bale are both good players? Like when?
What a manager!
What an absolute genius!
What a genius, mate! Where did he pull these players from? You know what I mean?
Give him a new contract.
What do you think, Ben?
I think it's going to be another boring game, and I hate to be that and bring that mood, but it's just two teams that like would prefer not to have the ball. Two banks of 4 with Crystal Palace. Mourinho, can we just wait for the opposition to make a mistake and then we'll go and score? So I'm going to go. It's going to be a close game. I'm going to go 1-0 Tottenham.
Yeah. Again, I think it's going to be a narrow game as well. Tottenham, obviously, they didn't play well yesterday, but they did enough to get over the line. I think part of them is going to be, again, eyes on Europe coming up next week. So I think you'll probably see a little bit of squad rotation from Jose as well. I'm going to go with a narrow, 1-0 win. 1-0 win to Tottenham. And, then we've got a big game on Monday. 2 games to be precise. First game is Chelsea at home to Everton. As you're a Chelsea fan, Kwaku, why don't you lead the line on this one?
Obviously, we've been in incredible form since Tuchel's taken over. We don't look like conceding the goal. Last 3 games against Atleti, against United, and against Liverpool, they haven't scored. Bailey had a shot on target, and yeah, we've looked kind of dominant. But I do see us slipping up against Everton. I always worry when we go against Everton. It's just kind of one of those teams. More times when we play at Goodison Park, but I'm never confident when we go into games against Everton. So I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw in this one. I think this run's going to have to come to an end in terms of all these positive results, and I do think Everton are a good enough team to get a point at Stamford Bridge. So yeah, 1-1 draw.
Oh, bold. What about you, Ben? What do you think?
I agree. I want to draw firstly because it helps West Ham. But I think Everton are a lot better away from home than they are at home this season. I know it's not like, we see that with a lot of teams this season because, there's no home advantage. But, they've lost a lot of games at home to clubs that they probably should be looking at beating. And I think they'll get a point at Chelsea. I really do. I just think they've got some good players that Chelsea need to, Chelsea need to be aware of, like Richarlison on the break, Calvert-Lewin. And whilst they did play very well, I didn't actually watch the game, but I've heard a lot of people say that Chelsea played very well. It's one of those, again, this run has to end at some point, and could it be Everton? So I'm going to say the draw.
Okay, a draw. I'm actually fair. As much as I don't want Chelsea to win this game for selfish reasons for West Ham, coming off the result from yesterday being such a huge result for Chelsea, I think they're going to be buoyed to really. They've got into the top 4 now, and I think they're really going to want to establish their place in that top 4 and not leave it again for the rest of the season, especially with teams around them starting to falter. You can see United losing, Leicester could potentially lose. So I think they're going to go into that game wanting to win. Of course, I'm going to go with a narrow 2-0 win in that one, but I think it'll be a close contest. Then the big game of the weekend.
It's the reason why we're creating this video, by the way, is to talk about this game.
Yeah, so, plan the next 30 minutes for you guys. Let's have a little listen. Right, West Ham versus Leeds. What do you think about that one, Ben?
I think we're going to win, mate. I just think we're going to win. I think we'll go to a back 4 because I don't think Ben Johnson had his greatest game against Manchester City, and obviously we did play Man City, but I think the way we played against Leeds away with a back 4 and let Ben Rama, Lingard, and we played so well against Leeds United away, and we didn't have Lingard at time. We had Haller up front because Antonio was injured, and I just think Antonio's a different animal compared to Haller, and it will cause their defence complete problems because I think Leeds, they're going to be expansive. I do expect the game to be, one of those games where Leeds will have a lot of the ball, and I think it will suit West Ham down to the T and just counter-attack. I'm going to go 2-0 West Ham.
2-0 West Ham. What about you, Quakes?
What do I actually think? I do think West Ham are going to win this game, but I don't want to say it. I think West Ham are going to win this game. I feel like the impetus is going to be there because the next few fixtures after this Leeds game are big fixtures in terms
United and Arsenal after,
Arsenal. So I feel like West Ham need to win this game if they want to sustain their top four push, and I think they will. I think with West Ham, in terms of what I've seen this season, they've just got that grit. Like they know how to get results. And Leeds can be flimsy. They haven't really got that much to play for. They're not going to go down. Defensively, they are suspects. And I think West Ham just have a bit too much for them. I think West Ham are going to win this game 2-0.
Sure. I don't know how much the psychology will play into this one because obviously we're the last game of the weekend. So if Chelsea go and win, we can't even get to the top 4 with this result anyway. We'll have a game in hand. But if Chelsea lose, for example, and then we play at 8 o'clock and we know that we can go into the top 4 if we win, you don't know the psychology.
I don't think we can get the top 4 that way either. I think Everton would be above us.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So we need a draw.
Yeah,
really.
That's true. That's true, actually. Yeah, of course it is.
I think Everton would go above us, yeah.
They would. All right. Again, I'm in unison with you guys, though. I do think we have more than enough to get past Leeds. As good as Leeds have been in snapshots this season, I think, like Ben said, when the way we played against them when we were away from home, we didn't even have our, Antonio playing up top. I think we've got enough to get past them. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win at home. Very comfortable.
2-0 all round.
Yeah, more of the same going forward.
I've got a question for you boys. So, say West Ham beat Leeds and say you get positive results in the United and Arsenal game. Are you going to finish in the top 4? Ben.
Okay. Right. If we beat Leeds, and then, to be fair, I was saying to Jamie yesterday, Man City was the only game that I thought that we had absolutely no chance to do it, getting anything. The other games, I think, on our day, we could pick up a result. And if we beat Leeds and we drew at Man United and beat Arsenal at home, which is possible, I think we'll definitely finish in the top 6 if those 3 results happened. If those 3 results happened, I think we definitely would finish in the top 6, top 4. The thing that may go in our favour is that a lot of teams are playing in European football, like Tottenham and whatnot. The only other team that ain't is Everton. And a lot of the other teams are playing each other. For example, Chelsea are playing Everton, and after the next couple of games, we've got a lot of games like Newcastle, Burnley, where we've got a huge opportunity to push on. So depending on the next 2 or 3 results, I think we could make top 6 if we can do it. Top 4, who knows? We'd have a couple of variables would have to go our way, I think.
I completely agree. I'm just going to read off the fixtures that we've got for the rest of the season. So we've got Leeds United, Arsenal, Wolves, Leicester. But after we get past those games, our last 5 games are very winnable. We've got Newcastle, Chelsea will be a tough game. Then we've got Burnley, Everton, and our last 3 are Brighton, West Brom, and Southampton. In terms of in all of those games, all games are going to be tough at the end of the season, but we have more than enough to get over the line in, I'd say, at least 60-70% of those games. We've got tough games against United, Arsenal questionably, Leicester questionably, Chelsea and Everton. The rest of those games we need to be going in deserving a win. I think if we get big results in the next 3 games, it has to be a point where you start to believe the hype. We're not there through luck. There's been a lot of pretenders this season. Southampton led the league at one point and now they're down in the bottom of the league. Tottenham were top of the league at one point and now they went down. There's been a lot of pretenders throughout this season. Liverpool as well, for example. And I think West Ham are where we are in the league just because we've put in a level of consistency that a lot of the teams around us haven't been able to do, other than the top sides. So I think we you have to believe the hype. In 3 games' time, you're well into the final third of the season, and so if we win the next 3 games, why not?
If we win the next 3 games, we'll win the league, I reckon.
I don't even hear why not. If you win the next 3 games, every West Ham fan should be like, we're going to finish in the top. If you win the next
if we won our next 3 games, I would firmly believe I'd be like, right, this is now. I think we will do it.
100%. If you win the next 3, if you win 2 out of the next 3, I feel like you should have that hope. And I feel like a lot of times where teams drop out, like Leicester, for example, last season, is because they don't feel like they had the divine right. The reason why Chelsea and United finished in top 4 last season is because we felt like we were owed it, like we deserved to be there. I feel like that mentality shift has to happen before teams can actually do it. And we'll see it again with Leicester this season. I feel like they're almost happy to be there. Brendan Rodgers was being given his flowers before he'd even done anything. I think with West Ham, I think they're more likely to finish in the top 4 than Leicester, just because they've got like a little bit more grit. I think West Ham got a bit about them, which I hate to say.
Yeah, there's so much about us, mate. So much about us. Best team in London, mate. Anyway,
sweet.
Yes, people. Right. So, Ben, quickly tell everyone where they can find you. I know you said at the start of the video.
Just Ben Glander. If you just search up Ben Glander, it will all come out. I've got like 2 channels there. Just my name.
Yeah, he's also on Instagram. He's also on Twitter. Go find him there. He's always talking about football. So, big fan of his channels. So, cheers, guys. See you next time.
Nice one.